Hey, good morning, everybody. It's bright and early Monday morning. I guess it's just about 8:30. I've been up for a little while. Had a little breakfast, a little ground beef as usual, some salt and some water. Just wanted to check in real quick. I made a dietary decision the other day that I paid for in spades, unfortunately. So the last couple of weeks I've been seeing videos of people eating sausage with their beef. Some of the doctors do it. Carnivore Ray, I seen him I think do it, and I just had a hankering for sausage. So although I 99% of the time, well not 99, pretty much 100% of the time I eat beef. Um, I wanted to try something a little different. So after watching, I believe it's one of the Carnivore Ray's videos, I made the decision I was going to get some ground sausage. I wasn't particularly concerned whether it was beef or pork. It was just an urge, just dealing with an urge. So next time I was at the supermarket, I picked up a package of 8 preformed sweet sausage patties. So no skin or anything on them, just the ground sausage made into patties. I had, well, I'm trying to think. I had 2 on Thursday with some beef. I had 2 on Friday with some beef, and then 2 Saturday morning with a significant amount of beef and like 6 or 7 eggs. So now eggs and beef have been in my diet consistently. Eggs less often than the beef, obviously. I do eggs when I feel the urge. I kind of feel like that's my body asking for something that the beef doesn't necessarily have. That's just my way of dealing with it. I try to listen to my body as much as possible. If it asks for something specific that falls under carnivore, I try to listen. So I had a hankering for the sausage. So I had the sausage Thursday, I had it Friday, and then Saturday morning I had a significant meal. I had a decent amount of sausage, or the 2 patties, a decent amount of beef, and like I said, like 7 eggs. I didn't eat particularly fast. As a matter of fact, I had to stop and readjust my projector because the cats over the course of the night had bumped into it. My family was trying to watch a movie, so I had to readjust the projector. So I even took a break in the middle of the meal, which is unusual, I get, but no harm, no foul. So I ate the meal. I'm completely satiated, if not a little stuffed. And I go about my day. About an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours later, I get a pain in my stomach. It was definitely a gas pain. It was moderate to borderline significant, and I just was very uncomfortable. I went to the bathroom several times trying to pass gas that way. Put pressure on my stomach in different positions, pulled my knees to my chest. Nothing's getting rid of it. And as the day went on, the pain got more and more significant. By the time, say, 7 or 8 o'clock rolled around, I was in a significant amount of pain. Contemplating maybe I need a doctor, maybe I need to go to the hospital. Not like screaming pain or in tears or anything like that, just significant. Whereas I was not moaning and groaning, but complaining quite a bit about the pain. I just couldn't talk about anything else, and I honestly didn't even want to talk. Talking was starting to cause pain. So I pushed through it, like I said, till about 7 or 8 o'clock. All plans I had with my son went to pot. I basically slept most of the day just to try and help the pain go away. I woke up, the pain was still there. I tried everything I could think of, and finally at about 6:30 I started massaging my stomach, almost like doing a Heimlich maneuver but gentle. And again, working my legs up to my knees up to my chest to try to push the gas through. Went to the bathroom a final time. Started releasing. I was releasing a little bit of gas through burping, and I knew immediately it was the sausage that affected me because I wasn't tasting the eggs. You know, sometimes a burp will have a flavor. I wasn't tasting the eggs. I wasn't tasting the beef. All I was tasting was the sausage. Went to the bathroom, released some gas that way. It took about an hour and a half to be completely free of pain, but finally the gas passed. Now, this isn't the most pleasant conversation to have, and not everybody's enjoying listening to this, but I'm doing this for a very specific reason. I am carnivore. I am about as strict as you can get. I do, for the most part, lion based, but I do have some eggs, like I said in the past. I eat, for the most part, ground beef. I do cook a steak every once in a while. I did start on steaks. I started with the high-end ribeyes and the filet mignons, and went to chuck steaks, and then got it in my head that I really didn't need to be spending all this money to live this lifestyle, and broke it down to ground beef, which is like $4 and change a pound where I get it. That being said, I was a little bit wanted to try the sausage, and a little bit wanted to add a little variety. I was contemplating if it sat well, if my body still felt good, maybe it's something I could do every so often just to kind of add a little variety. Now that I've done it and I caused the pain that it caused, I'm recognizing that I don't necessarily need variety. And what I remembered after this all passed, I remember, because it's been a while since I had sausage, in my past life before I was carnivore, I would eat sausage, egg, and cheese. And just about every time I ate a sausage, egg, and cheese, not just one sausage patty, there would be some stomach pain. And I always just kind of equated to that sandwich didn't agree with me, or the particular deli put something on it that I don't necessarily like, or whatever the case is. In the back of my mind, I kind of thought it was a sausage, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I never paid much mind to it. But now it was clear. Sausage, although delicious, and there is beef sausage, there's pork sausage, there's a couple different ways to go, I think it's off the menu for me. Because I remember now, I've had beef sausage and my stomach bothered me prior to carnivore. And now that I've had just sausage added to my diet, I'm half tempted. I still have a couple of sausage patties left to eat just the sausage to see what happens. But for those of you paying attention to the videos, I'm working a lot of hours these days. I'm putting in a lot of overtime. I do not want to lose money over some sausage. I'm 99.9% sure, I'm as sure as I can be, that it's the sausage without just eating the sausage. And I'd rather not go through that again. So, my point in saying this, just because it falls under the umbrella of carnivore, beef, I do a stricter version, so for me it's just beef. But if you're eating varieties of meat, say beef, chicken thighs, lamb, goat, whatever if you're eating salmon, if you're eating different types of fish, understand that just because it's carnivore doesn't mean it's necessarily going to agree with your body. I figured this out Saturday, and I spent the last couple of days kind of thinking about in my head how I was going to put this information out there. Not everybody wants to hear about gas. Not everybody wants to hear about my bathroom habits. Not everybody wants to hear anybody talk about their aches and pains. But I feel like in the carnivore space, it's important to explain to people, sometimes you eat the diet 100% perfect for the parameters of the diet, and it's still not going to work for you. Not the diet itself, the food. Sometimes your body just doesn't, I know the sausage probably had some seasonings and some spices in it and things that I don't necessarily eat. I eat beef, salt, and water. So maybe that's the case. Maybe it was the seasonings, maybe it was A, B, or C, but it doesn't matter to me. It's not something I'm comfortable with doing again. So again, when you're eating something new, pay attention to what you're eating. Try to remember what it was like the last time you ate it, even if it wasn't carnivore when you were eating. and pay attention to what your body does afterwards, because I'm telling you that was an excruciating experience. I didn't enjoy it at all, which I'm sure you can understand. And it has taken sausage off the menu for me. I am going to stick with my beef. I do have to figure out where I'm going to go as far as beef from this point on. I really am. My body doesn't want for anything different, but I enjoy. Here's the thing: when I eat the beef, right, I put it in a bowl and I eat it with a fork. When I eat steak, okay, 1 second. I use this knife, which I get great joy out of, using a ridiculously gigantic knife. And right now it's used as a platform, and I eat all my steaks off this gigantic cutting board. You've seen me do it in other videos. That is not clickbait. That is not a gimmick I'm using to attract attention to my videos. That's how I eat my steak, Pardon me, I'm trying to put this back in without cutting my hand off. So if the camera's not 100%, I apologize, but my fingers are more important than making this video right now. Okay, and as you see, I keep them together. I mean, that's my butcher block for regular cutting and stuff like that, but when I grab this, I grab my toothpicks. Oh, I gotta take my iodine this morning. I forgot to put that in my water, so I have another glass of water. So that's the story. The takeaway from this is I'm still staying with carnivore. All that I've learned is, one, I'm not going to eat sausage, and two, sausage does not agree with my body. I don't know why it showed itself in gas form. I'm not sure why the gas got stuck where it got stuck, just below my rib cage, and a little bit of pain into my chest. Not heart attack pain. I thank you for concern, but that's not what it was. It was just gas pain. I'm not a medical doctor. I just know A plus B equals C. I've been eating ground beef for 7 or 8 months. Never an issue. I've been eating eggs on and off for a year and a half. I do not eat sausage. I added sausage and I was in pain. This is a common sense thing. I'm very thankful that the pain didn't get to a higher level, because it was at one point where I was seriously contemplating rushing and having a doctor handle this, or having to go to the hospital, which isn't a place I want to be. So I am feeling much better. I had some ground beef this morning. I had my birthday's coming up. Wednesday is my birthday, so I'm going to work Wednesday, obviously. I have the option to take my birthday off, but to take a day off in the middle of the week with no real plans, and keep in mind I work the overnight shift, I'm still going to be tired. I'm still going to be sluggish. I'd rather be fully energized and a full day off on a weekend or something, do something like that. So this past weekend, a buddy of mine invited me over, told me ahead of time it's going to be an early birthday celebration. And he made these beautiful 1.5-inch thick, I'm assuming he had to order them. I don't know where he got 1.5-inch thick porterhouses from, but I'm assuming it's from the butcher. 1.5-inch thick porterhouse. He smoked them on his barbecue grill, on his green egg, it's called. And what an amazing meal it was. I'm very thankful for that. If he's paying attention, I don't know if he's a subscriber or not. I don't necessarily brag about my YouTube channel. I just let it gain ground on its own. Thank you. It was delicious, and it really made my 50th year on this planet a little more special. So him and his wife are very close friends of mine, 20 plus years of friendship. He's pretty much the only person outside of work that I spend any time with. Like I said, 20 plus years of laughing, joking, and breaking each other's chops. I've known his wife actually a little bit longer. She used to coach my son in soccer, so that's how we kind of met. So that's the story anyway. Again, pay attention to what you're eating. If you change up your diet, try to change it by a single ingredient, whether it's a different type of meat. If you're adding a spice, add one spice, if you're adding coffee or something along those lines, pay close attention, because it may cause you pain, and you don't want to have 7 different menu items to concern yourself with when you're figuring out what went wrong. So, All right, y'all. I'm going to get on with my day. I have a very long night tonight. Not only do I have a job to go to, I have a meeting that I have to go to, and meetings are not enjoyable to me. I don't enjoy sitting still. I pick a physical labor job because I like moving and shaking. So let's see how the night goes. For now, that's all. Y'all have a great day. Stay focused, stay carnivore, and stay healthy. Bye.